Hey everyone, welcome to the first card spotlight on Delver Brews. Today I want to shine the spotlight on a card coming in Core 2021, Stormwing Entity. So this card's been generating a bit of a buzz. On the face of it, a 3/3 for 5 that has flying and prowess and allows you to scry 2 is decent, but not modern pedigree. However, Stormwing Entity has a special little ability that allows you to cast it for 1 blue and 1 generic mana if you cast another instant or sorcery spell in that same turn. And that makes it a bit more interesting in modern. In particular, I will be analyzing it for Temur Hooting Delver, or just Temur Delver, specifically my build, but I'll also be touching on some other Temur Delver builds that might even make greater use of this card. So, let's break it down. All right. So Stormwing Entity has flying, has prowess. And its ETB allows you to scry 2, which is, a draw card away from being a Serum Visions. And it has a 3/3 body. So, we play Delver of Secrets, so we can't use the dies to Lightning Bolt excuse for, looking past this card. Odds are we're never ever going to cast it for 5 mana. If we are, then we are doing really, really bad anyway. But for 2 mana, essentially, as long as you, satisfy its requirement of casting another spell, that's powerful. All right. So in my build, that means turn 3, you could very reliably cast Stormwing Entity and have it on the battlefield, and that's really powerful. Okay, because next turn you have a 3/3 flying prowess in the air. You can't fiddle push it. It does dodge some removal, and if your opponent tries to bolt it or whatever, you could either counter the bolt or cast another spell to trigger prowess, and it can dodge removal. Storming Entity becomes a serious problem for your opponent, and it could help finish off games a lot quicker. That's what I really like about Storming Entity, and it also allows us to be less reliant on the graveyard, right? So graveyard hosers really, really hurt Temur Delver because of Tarmogoyf, because of Hooting Mandrills. So Storming Entity provides us another way of attacking in the air, and we don't really care what's in our graveyard. Actually, we don't care what's in our graveyard. All we care about is being able to cast a spell before we cast this card, so that we can cast it for a cheaper price. Effectively it's a 3 mana creature, but keep in mind, we are not casting a spell just to cast a spell, right? Nothing in our deck is there for fluff. So whether we're casting a Serum Visions, whether we're casting a Lightning Bolt, whether we're casting a Traverse, where we might be traversing for Storming Entity on turn 3, which is, very possible. We can get to Delirium on turn 3 relatively easily in this deck. Turn 3, play your 3rd land, traverse for Storming Entity and cast Storming Entity at the same turn. That's great. And then scry 2 on top of it. So, that's pretty awesome. You're setting up your 4th turn, potentially having 2 instants or sorceries or whatever non-creature spells coming into your hand, which are going to trigger prowess. So, that's a really powerful play. And as long as you are able to protect your creature, Storming Entity, which is a major part of Temur Hooting Delver, then yeah, I see it as a major threat. So looking at my current build, my thoughts are dropping 1 Hooting Mandrill, so we fall back to 3, and then we drop 1 of the Windcaller Avens. Running 2 was really because I wanted to get our current land creatures in the air, but now that we have 2 actual threats in the air, Windcaller even becomes slightly less necessary. It's perfectly valid to just get rid of Wind Color Raven altogether. So you could replace the 2 Wind Color Ravens, keep your 4 Hooting Mandrills, and just slot in 2 Stormwing Entities. I think that's perfectly valid. That's not a line I've tested yet, but I may very well go down that route if I feel like I don't need Wind Color Raven at all. The cycling ability is nice, but we can get draw spells elsewhere in our 75. So that's what I'm currently looking at. Of course, I can't fully test this card out because it's not out yet, it's not legal yet, but I will be testing it out in the future, and you'll most likely start seeing actual matches with it once this card is released. But yeah, it's really I'm really excited about this card. I mean, we'll see how it actually plays out, but I'm looking forward to actually playing this against actual decks and seeing how it performs. I'm very hopeful. Now, I want to make a quick note on other builds of Temur Delver in Modern that run Manamorphose. So with Manamorphose, this is a turn 2 creature, okay? Turn 1, play a land, turn 2, play another land, Manamorphose, cast Stormwing Entity for 2. That's amazing. It's actually making me want to convert to Manamorphose simply because of this card. Of course, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because it requires other sacrifices that I'm not really willing to make right now, but this is even a stronger threat in those decks because you have the potential to cast it on turn 2 relatively often, whereas in my build it's strictly a turn 3 play. But yeah, I just wanted to make that point because in that version of Temur Delver, this card gets even crazier. So yeah, check that out. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. That's all I have to say on this card for now. I'll have more thoughts on it once I actually get some actual games in with it. But yeah, Stormwing Entity. Keep an eye out on it. It's looking pretty awesome. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Helps support the channel. Lets me know you are enjoying my content and want to see more. And yeah, it just helps the community grow. Thanks, and have a good one.